Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we are going to have a debate with the following topic: the Industrial Revolution 4.0, technology disruption, are we ready? I'm Novita Rainsani as the adjudicator of this debate. Before we start the debate, I would like to give a brief overview about the topic. According to Forbes, the Industrial Revolution 4.0 is to represent the fourth revolution that has occurred in manufacturing. Industry 4.0 is set to optimize the computerization Industry 3.0 has brought with the disruptive technology. We will find out whether Indonesia is ready for Revolution Industry 4.0 with the current state of the country, especially in education field, and also to give possible feedback and input from our perspective for Indonesia to be ready for the revolution. The affirmative or the pro team will be Sabita Annastasya and Luthfia Putri Utami, while the negative or the con team will be Clara Torevi and Miranti Dwi Resta. To the pro team, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Novita, for the time. I would like to say that Indonesia is ready for the industrial revolution. Why I say Indonesia is ready? Because the data show that current in Indonesia, the industry era 4.0 has been implemented and it's influenced the society. Right now, all our activities has been stayed in the form of digitalization. Like I found that the data that ITB lecturer Richard Menko assessed that Indonesia actually is getting used to technology but have not utilized it optimally. He also sees that the industry revolution 4.0 is actually already running in Indonesia. As an example, the presence of the startup like Gojek, which has proven to make our activity easier for the community. Indonesia is included in the category of countries that are ready to carry out the 4.0 industrial revolution. This refers to the initial report of the preliminary 4IR country readiness evaluation, in which that Indonesia has potential to be candidate and ready to welcome the 4.0 industrial revolution. From this, Indonesia has the benefit to continue building the infrastructure in the field of higher education to prepare the 4.0 industrial revolution. And I found the data expressed by the Menristek Dikti in 2018, Muhammad Nasir. He explained that based on the initial evaluation of the country readiness to face the Industrial Revolution 4.0 in Indonesia, Indonesia is estimated to be a country with a high potential, although Indonesia still under the Singapore at Southeast Asia level. In relation to the global competitive index at the 2070-2080 World Economic Forum, Indonesia is in the 36th position, up 5 place from the previous year. We are in the 41 position of the 137 countries. That's all my perspective, and it will be continued by Luthfia for her statement.
Okay, thank you, Sabita. As Sabita said, so actually our country is ready for Industrial Revolution 4.0 in education. First, let's think positively. If we look at the current situation, the use of technology has begun to be accustomed to learning due to the presence of COVID-19. Although it starts from compulsion to the situation, but we can adjust it little by little. Well, actually, this is a great start. If we don't start implementing the Industrial Revolution 4.0 from now on, then we will be left behind with other countries that have started to implement it. And for example, Singapore. Singapore has already used technology for learning and has a good output for the country's economic growth because it creates human resources who have the skills that are needed in the 21st century. And according to the data from PISA, Singapore is the first country in ASEAN with a high digital literacy rate. When we compare it to Indonesia, which ranks third in the digital literacy rate in ASEAN, I believe Indonesia can follow Singapore because if we see these differences between Singapore and Indonesia, the difference is not too far away. Assist by program from the government and also the awareness of each individual, I believe Indonesia is ready for the Industrial Revolution 4.0 in education. And the important thing is we have started because the situation of COVID-19. And as this activity continues, we can prepare for the next step.
Okay, thank you for Sabita and Luthfia. Now, Contim, the floor is yours.
Industry 4.0 can be perceived as a natural transformation of the industrial production systems triggered by the digitalization trend. This hypothesis is supported by comparison of conventional topics. In industrial production systems and Industry 4.0, it is obvious that the main issues didn't really change. Just the technology and approaches for tackling the connected issues are new. 5 years after the introduction in Germany, the Industry 4.0 concept is now worldwide, and it has been also transformed from its original application field in industrial manufacturing to other engineering and non-engineering fields. The corresponding concepts such as automotive 4.0, logistic 4.0, and education 4.0 have in common with original meaning of Industry 4.0. Only extensive usage of ICT tools, connectivity, and capture and analysis of real-time data. In 2019 World Bank review, the World Bank publicly stated that Indonesia was not ready to face the Industrial Revolution 4.0. In fact, 2.0 wasn't ready yet. Not only that, the World Bank also writes that average learning outcomes of students in Jakarta are worse than the average learning outcomes of rural students in Vietnam. It is because the SGDs stipulate that by 2030, it will be ensured that all 10 years old receive quality basic education. In fact, he recommended that the Indonesian government pay special attention to basic education. In the end of 2019, although the press conveyed about world of education in Indonesia is very optimistic, the promise of Indonesia education, the contents of the report, even the official speech are terrible. The contents of the report is where there is learning poverty. It means the poverty in learning. For example, 30% of 10 years old in Earth do not understand what they are reading. Based on that figure, Indonesia contributed 47%. This is a nominal figure for the best percentage compared to 74% of misunderstanding science and 77% of mathematics. The way towards wider deployment of the Industry 4.0 production concept is still long. There are only very few Industry 4.0 enterprises, mostly new enterprises built to prove the concept. It can be expected that the most of the enterprises will introduce the Industry 4.0 elements gradually and by building on already existing equipment and software solution, thus not encouraging the stability of the production. So, in my argument, in my opinion, that Indonesia is not ready to face the Industrial Revolution 4.0. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Torevi. I want to review Luthfia's statement, which says that Indonesia is ready to face the 4.0 era because the people are very close to technology. My question is, can you guarantee that people who are able to apply the technology can use it in a meaningful way? As Torevi said before, not all people who are able to read a text, they know about the meaning. As well as with technology, people are not only required to be able to use it, but they also have to be able to manage and manipulate the technology they use in a sustainable way. So, what we have to underline here is to face the 4.0 era, the human skills are needed, the human resources are needed. While in Indonesia itself, the human resources are still considered low. According to the report which quoted educationists, economists, and business leaders stated that the problem of a high-skilled labor shortage has been highlighted. The director of Education Fund Management Institution, Eko Prasetyo, stated that the problem is quality, skills, and productivity. The World Economic Forum's Global Competitiveness Report 2019 placed Indonesia in 62nd place of out 140 countries around the world for its skills pillar. So I think what the government have to do is conduct an effort how to improve the quality of human resources. One of the efforts can be the governments make sure there are no more universities which produce graduates that are unable to meet the requirements of the industry. At least, the graduates must be able to master and be productive in their field they have studied. Thank you.
Thank you, Miranti, for your statement. But again, I agree with Luthfia. We have to build the we have to build in ourselves. So because of the today's situation, the COVID-19 situation, so we have to prepare for the next step. Today, student as the part of generation Z, we known to be very close to the technology, right? So we open opportunities and is the implementing distance learning, which is identically to use the electronic device. Some have succeeded, but some have failed. But they have also explain of the educational innovation, which has been postponed for a long time. And then with the 70% of our student from generation Z, 5 to 24 years old, and 53% of them active internet user. Based on that statistic data of the Indonesian education sector 2018-2019, we as educator need to explore new ways to provide virtual learning that are very fun and easy to understand. And right now there is a lot of virtual learning, virtual application that we can use to make the learning fun and easy to understand. Because the COVID-19 situation, the ministry has launched platform guruberbagi.kemendikbud.go.id that allow teacher to share lesson plan, article, and tips for better teaching. This teaching sharing platform serves as a springboard to develop a virtual community to practice among teachers and should be further promoted to a wider circle of teachers. To capitalize further on this platform, virtual modules for professional development can be uploaded there. So actually, right now, teacher can share their lesson plan or their teaching way in guruberbagi.kemendikbud.go. It's a good platform for the teacher. And then for the edutech right now, the digital education platform are the ability to create personalized interactive learning pathway. The change to establish online forum for student and teacher, and the opportunity to leverage the internet to promote research, analysis, and cultural awareness, as well as the technical for a young age. Some example for the digital technology is Ruang Guru. Ruang Guru is educational technology platform that provides interactive, personalized learning program and examination prepare support. Besides Ruang Guru, there is also Kuiper, Zenius, Google Classroom, Microsoft Teams and other platform that we can use to maintain the learning. Ruang Guru and the other Indonesia edutech firm host over 1 million students in the first 2 months of the COVID-19 situation related to the social distance. So for the going forward, the disruptive potential of technology may guide rather than support the further of Indonesia for the future of Indonesia. So the in my opinion, the right now Indonesia is ready to getting used the edu tech because there is a student out there they they use the platform for their learning, so they just not going to their classes. they they not just only go to their classes, but they can take other application to increase their learning in this era. That's my opinion.
Well, according to the survey conducted by the Ministry of Education and Culture, there were only 40% of Indonesian teachers who were engaged with technology. It revealed that the fact Indonesian teachers have low digital literacy. What's the problem then? To make a development on a digital literacy, it must be achieved by teachers, and it can begin by having training, workshop, or like a course, or etc. But unfortunately, this training is only given in a short time and limited time. And we also faced by the fact that our Indonesian teacher is having another jobs that makes them hard to join this kind of training. It gives only a little effect on the improvement of teacher professional development. And also, for example, teachers are often willing to join training only to have a certificate that in order to get job promotion. This lack of motivation become common problem as well as financial or funding problem that is common for teachers to have another work as the result of their financial issue. As I said before, we Indonesian teachers have many problems to develop their digital literation, and it can be the problem is it can be the issue of uh, prosperity, the issue of their time, and etc. I think that's my opinion that our Indonesian teacher have a low digital literacy. Next, maybe you can add an argument, Luthfia.
Okay, firstly, I'm going to argue what Miranti and Clara has said. If we look at the readiness of human resource in our country to face the progress of the Industrial Revolution 4.0 in education, actually the government has prepared many training for teachers. So I think it doesn't matter if it is only given in a short and limited period of time. One of the examples is we have the STEM teaching methods training. And for your information, STEM is an educational approach that uses the five sciences, knowledge, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics comprehensively as a pattern of problem solving. So STEM can encourage the development of knowledge, technology, engineering, and mathematics to be more creative. In the STEM method, the teacher acts as a facilitator and students as the center of the learning process, both inside and outside the classroom. And as Yakman said in 2008 and 2012, learning with the STEM approach is contextual learning, where students are invited to understand the phenomena that occur in everyday life and be close to themselves. And as a professional, of course, teachers are required to validate their knowledge, either through self-study or through coaching and development programs held by the government or society. Coaching is an effort to increase teacher professionalism that can be done through seminars, training, and education. By applying the result of the STEAM teaching method training, at least teachers can have 4 competencies that are in line with teaching in the Industrial Revolution 4.0. It is critical thinking and problem-solving skills, communication and collaboration skills, creative and innovative thinking skills, and technology and information literacy. If the teacher already has a deep understanding of Revolution 4.0, they will be able to better transmit the knowledge to the students.
Okay, Luthfia, talking about a program, it wouldn't be fair with the facilities, right?
Sorry, Miranti, your voice.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, Luthfia, talking about the program that will be implemented, such as team, it wouldn't be separated with the facilities, right? With the infrastructures. Then the question is whether the infrastructure is adequate. As we know, a program will not run optimally if it is not properly facilitated. In Indonesia itself, the infrastructures is still low. In the results of the study entitled Public Expenditure Review Spending for Better Results, Kemendikbud administrative data confirms that only 25% of classrooms in primary education and 40% of high school classrooms are in good condition. Not only that, one our country's digital infrastructures is also considered low. Based on the report of UN Digital Governance 2020 entitled E-Government Survey 2020, Indonesia is still far behind the indicators of telecommunication infrastructures, where Indonesia still has a score that is equal to Ghana, Jordan, and Cambodia. This is also related to the uneven stable internet connection in all regions of Indonesia. So if the infrastructure is inadequate, there is no guarantee for teachers and students to be able to meet the demands of 4.0 because not all learning places, such as school, have the appropriate technology or learning media. In other words, the program, such as Teams, wouldn't run perfectly. So in my opinion, the equalization and development of telecommunication infrastructure are very important things to do for the governments. Thank you.
Okay, I think we have reached the end of our debate. Thank you, Team Pro and Con. You have given interesting points and point of view and compelling arguments about Indonesia's readiness for Industry 4.0. Also, from this debate, we can sum up that even though Indonesia has shown the aspects that prove Indonesia's readiness for the Revolution Industry 4.0, there are still many aspects left needing to be paid attention to, such as the human resources, the quality of the teachers, even the infrastructure. However, there are many interesting points taken from the pro team of this debate. If we don't try and maybe enforce Indonesia to catch up with the Revolution Industry 4.0, then when would it start? We will eventually get left behind even more. Slowly but surely, we do need to get Indonesia to be more ready to catch up with the demands of Revolution Industry 4.0 and to catch up with the other countries that are deemed ready for Revolution Industry 4.0, especially with the STEAM program the government prepared. Still, all of this needs to be supported with the growth of human resources, teachers' readiness, and infrastructures toward the better. Not only that, the STEAM program needs to be realized all over the country. Do not let the infrastructure becomes the problem to realize this program and ends up to be a plan. Government needs to also continue working with the online learning service providers such as Ruang Guru and Zenius so that the concept of more advanced and more computerized education in Indonesia could be realized. Thank you, everyone. I hope we all can gain new valuable information and understanding regarding Indonesia's readiness for Revolution 4.0. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Ntar dulu dah, itu takutnya kelempar.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to have a debate with the
Ulang.
Itu Toripi kenapa?
Diulang nggak sih? Gue tadi nggak tahu.
Untung gue kelihatan tangan lo ya, Mi.